Life often feels like a journey without a clear destination, as though we wander through days piled with tasks and obligations yet remain haunted by the question of, why am I really here? That persistent echo of emptiness can lead us to chase every passing trend, believe every convenient story about success, and conform to purposes handed down by others, all in the hope of finding meaning. Yet each new achievement or accolade soon reveals itself as another mirage, leaving us longing for something more enduring, something real. Beneath the surface of our daily routines lies a subtle danger, mistaking temporary pleasures or external validation for a true purpose. We fill our schedules with activities that promise fulfillment, perfecting our status, accumulating possessions, or earning praise, only to discover that these pursuits, however compelling at first, eventually lose their luster and trap us in cycles of disappointment. When purpose is defined by superficial measures, we become prisoners of our own desires, forever chasing horizons that move further away the moment we think we have arrived. Yet imagine if purpose could be found not in fleeting joys, but in actions, rooted in responsibility, service, and meaningful impact. Picture yourself waking each morning with a sense of clarity so deep that every decision aligns with your core values, and every challenge feels like an opportunity to express your true self. Over the next minutes, we will journey beyond the illusions of comfort and convenience to discover the real purpose of life, grounded in timeless wisdom and practical insight, so that you can step into each day with uncompromised conviction and genuine fulfillment. Why your current purpose might be keeping you stuck. It is all too easy to subscribe to a purpose drafted by society's expectations or by our own unexamined desires, believing that success will fill the hollowness we sense. Yet when our aim revolves around superficial markers, titles that impress, possessions that gleam, approvals that fade, the sense of meaning slips through our fingers like water. We rush from one achievement to the next, only to awaken each morning with the same gnawing emptiness, as if our soul protests every time we mistake a hollow victory for genuine fulfillment. Underneath this cycle lies a hidden danger. The more we pursue externally imposed goals, the more we reinforce a vision of life that is not truly ours. Like actors following a script written by someone else, we play roles that lack authenticity, and the applause rings hollow in the theater of our inner world. In that void between expectation and experience, dissatisfaction flourishes, convincing us that something essential is missing when, in truth, we have simply strayed from our authentic path. When purpose remains tethered to shallow ambitions, stagnation becomes inevitable. Each milestone we conquer reveals itself as merely the next rung on a ladder propped against the wrong wall, leaving us yearning for the satisfaction that never arrives. Only by recognizing the traps of convenience and conformity can we begin to dismantle the false foundations that bind us. In doing so, we prepare the ground for a purpose that transcends the ephemeral, one rooted in genuine meaning and drawn from the wellspring of our deepest values. The true purpose found in meaning, not happiness, amid the darkest chapters of human history. Viktor Frankl discovered that the quest for happiness, though noble in intention, often leads us astray when pursued as an end in itself. In the depths of a concentration camp, where suffering stripped away every comfort and hope, he observed that those who held on to a purpose greater than their immediate plight were the ones who survived not only in body but in spirit. Happiness, he concluded, is a byproduct of meaningful action, arising unexpectedly when we dedicate ourselves to values that transcend personal gratification. Frankl's philosophy invites us to shift our gaze from the fickle pursuit of pleasure to the enduring commitment to something we deem worthwhile. It asks us to identify causes that stir our deepest conviction, whether it is lifting the burden of another's despair, crafting a work of enduring art, or standing steadfast in integrity when the world urges compromise. In that alignment with a mission beyond ourselves, we tap into a reservoir of resilience that no external setback can deplete. The fulfillment that emerges from such alignment is not a fleeting emotion, but a steady glow that warms even the coldest stretches of life. This understanding reframes every challenge as an opportunity to affirm our purpose. When we encounter obstacles, loss of status, financial reversals, personal grief, these become tests of our dedication rather than derailments of our joy. By embracing responsibility for the roles we play and the contributions we choose, we Transform adversity into a teacher that guides us ever closer to the essence of who we are meant to be. In this light, our purpose reveals itself not in the pursuit of transient happiness, but in the courage to live meaningfully, moment by moment, regardless of circumstance. Counterintuitive truth: purpose emerges from action, not reflection. For many, the idea of discovering one's purpose conjures images of quiet contemplation, hours lost in thought, soul-searching retreats, or journal pages filled with probing questions. Yet paradoxically, purpose often lacks presence in the mind until it is lived through deliberate action. When you step forward with intention, launching a project, helping a neighbor, tackling a challenge, you open doors that introspection alone cannot locate. Purpose reveals itself in the friction between desire and reality, illuminating pathways only visible to those who dare to move beyond thought into the realm of experience. Consider a sculptor who stands before a block of marble for the first time. No amount of reflection can reveal the sculpture waiting to emerge. It is only through the act of chiseling, of feeling the resistance of the stone, that the artist uncovers the hidden form within. Similarly, your purpose lies latent until you engage with life's raw materials, your talents, your relationships, your struggles. Each step you take, each small endeavor you commit to, becomes a brushstroke on the canvas of meaning, guiding you toward a vision shaped by doing rather than merely dreaming. Action-driven discovery also dispels the paralysis of perfectionism that often grips the would-be seeker. When reflection becomes endless, when you wait for the right insight to strike, you risk remaining frozen by the fear of making the wrong choice. In contrast, every action, even if it falters, provides feedback: what resonates, what falls flat, and where your true interests and strengths converge. This feedback loop propels you forward with growing clarity, revealing purpose not as a distant goal, but as a living process crafted moment by moment. Moreover, purposeful action ignites a sense of momentum that fosters deeper engagement. As you see the impact of your efforts, whether it is a glimmer of gratitude in another's eyes or the tangible progress of a personal goal, you experience the affirmation that cultivates self-belief. This affirmation, in turn, fuels further action, creating a cascade of purposeful initiatives that reinforce the conviction that you are on a meaningful path. Reflection refines the journey, but it is action that charts the course. In embracing this counterintuitive truth, you honor the synergy between thought and deed. Your mind may stew in reflection, but without the crucible of action, insights remain abstract and untested. By stepping into the arena of life, taking risks, embracing trial and error, you transform uncertainty into a dynamic workshop for purpose. The road ahead unveils itself with each confident footfall, proving that true purpose emerges not from solitary rumination, but from the interplay of courage, curiosity, and committed engagement with the world around you. Identify and live your core purpose. At the heart of every extraordinary life lies a core purpose so compelling that it guides decisions, fuels perseverance, and imbues each moment with significance. Brian Tracy's blueprint for uncovering this purpose begins with a candid inventory of your deepest values, those principles you would defend even under pressure. By reflecting on the moments in which you felt most alive and fulfilled, you begin to trace the contours of your authentic mission, revealing what matters most beyond societal expectations or fleeting desires. Once these values are brought into sharp relief, the next step is to translate them into a concise purpose statement, a declaration of intent that resonates with your innate strengths and aspirations. This statement becomes a daily compass, anchoring your choices and clarifying which pursuits align with your true self. When you measure potential opportunities against this lodestar, distractions fall away and you move through life with unwavering focus, choosing projects, relationships, and goals that affirm your central mission. The final element of Tracy's method is integration, weaving your purpose into the fabric of everyday action. This involves setting specific, measurable objectives that reflect your purpose statement and embedding rituals, morning reflections, weekly reviews, purposeful conversations that reinforce your commitment. Each completed task then becomes a building block in the architecture of meaning, as small wins accumulate into profound momentum. By living your core purpose in ordinary acts, You transform the mundane into milestones, ensuring that every step forward is both intentional and deeply rewarding. Why comfort is the enemy of purpose? There is a subtle seduction in the embrace of comfort, a cocoon of familiarity that mutes ambition and lulls the spirit into complacency. When life's demands recede and routines settle into predictable rhythms, it feels natural to cling to security, convinced that comfort equates to well-being. Yet this very sanctuary can become a soft prison, dulling the urgency to pursue that whisper of purpose stirring within. As long as every need is met without stretching beyond the known, the call to deeper meaning remains distant, muffled beneath the cushion of ease. True growth, however, requires a willingness to step into calculated discomfort to test the boundaries of what feels safe. This is not a reckless pursuit of pain, but a strategic embrace of challenges that stretch your capabilities and expand your horizon of possibility. Like an untamed seed that bursts through the earth only by cracking its shell, your potential calls for moments that disrupt complacency. Through deliberate exposure to new experiences, speaking in public despite trembling confidence, learning skills that feel awkward or demanding, venturing into unfamiliar environments, you awaken parts of yourself that stagnate within the comfort zone. Embracing discomfort carries an emotional payoff far richer than the fleeting pleasure of ease. Each instance of courage, confronting difficult conversations, accepting critique, or taking calculated risks, solidifies your identity as someone who values growth over convenience. In that transformation, comfort no longer holds dominion. Instead, it becomes a temporary respite that you know how to leave behind in pursuit of lasting fulfillment. As you internalize this dynamic, the sting of uncertainty shifts from a deterrent to a compass, guiding you toward meaningful challenges that shape your journey. Ultimately, the emotional trap of comfort reveals itself as a barrier between who you are and who you can become. By acknowledging the cost of clinging to ease, you reclaim the conviction to venture beyond the ordinary, igniting the spark of purpose that comfort would have extinguished. In championing calculated discomfort, you pave the way for authentic growth, ensuring that the life you design resonates with the full depth of your potential rather than the shallow lull of safety. ***. Inspiring real story. How a crisis uncovered true purpose. ***. When Michael's thriving career came to an abrupt halt after an unforeseen health crisis, the comfortable rhythm of his life shattered in an instant, leaving him adrift and questioning every prior conviction. In the sterile silence of a hospital room, stripped of professional titles and daily routines, he grappled with a fear deeper than physical pain, the fear that his life had no real meaning beyond the accolades he once pursued. Yet in that crucible of vulnerability, a spark ignited. He realized that his greatest value lay not in achievements, but in the compassion and wisdom he could share with others facing their own crises. Emerging from recovery, Michael channeled his experience into founding a support network for individuals navigating life-altering challenges. Each conversation he led reminded him of the profound impact of bearing witness to another's struggle, and every small success, a message of gratitude, a breakthrough in someone's healing, rekindled his sense of purpose more powerfully than any corporate milestone ever had. He discovered that true purpose revealed itself not through positions held or goals checked off, but through service born of personal adversity. Over the next year, Michael's initiative grew from a modest online forum to a thriving community that offered practical resources, emotional solidarity, and workshops on resilience. The crisis that once threatened to define him became the catalyst for his most meaningful work, a testament to Frankl's insight that purpose emerges through responsibility to something greater than oneself. In embracing his own vulnerability, Michael exemplified how adversity can dissolve old identities and uncover a purpose that resonates with deepest values, transforming pain into a wellspring of lasting contribution. From the traps of misguided ambitions to Viktor Frankl's vision of meaning over fleeting happiness, from the revelation that purpose arises through action to Brian Tracy's blueprint for living one's core mission, we have navigated the landscape of a life imbued with genuine purpose. We confronted the siren song of comfort that dulls our yearnings and witnessed how crisis can reveal the most authentic calling. Now, as you reflect on these insights, choose the moment that stirred you most and let it guide your first step toward a purpose that transcends circumstance. In every deliberate action and every embrace of meaningful challenge, you write a life story of true purpose, one that endures far beyond the ephemeral and resonates with the profound certainty of your own becoming.